Hi everyone, welcome back to the next part of the Lancelot project. So Lancelot is an album cover kit I've designed with Cool Katz Crafts. So if you want to get your hands on this album cover, head to their shop, which I will link in the description below. And you will get all the elements to make the cover. You just need to add your own paper and cardstock and glue. It's a lovely big album this time, 11.5 by 7.5. So it's a nice big album to work with. Perfect for a 12 by 12 Stamperia, which I'm using Songs of the Sea this time. And this is page 3. So you can see I've already got some of it decorated and a piece of paper ready to go for this one. So for page 3, we are going to make a big pocket here for some nice tall photo mats, and then a flap here will open up to reveal another pocket as well. So that's what we're aiming to do. Now, to help you along, I do have a free cutting guide which you can download in PDF or print out. Just join my Facebook group called Paper Crafting with Paul and you can download it there. Just go to the file section and find it there. Okay, so let's get going with page 3. Let's grab some cardstock. Okay, so 3A and B. So there's only 2 pieces I need to cut. The first one is 8 1/4, which is the width of my A4. So 8 1/4 by 7 1/4. You can see I've made some adjustments to this one. I've actually changed a little bit of what I was hoping to do with this one. Just to make it more paper saving than it was previously again. And then 3B is 5 1/2 by 7 1/4. The small pieces can go into the bin and save these large scraps for later. And now my cutter can go away and bring in my scoreboard. Now those of you who follow me know I've got a little way of doing my scoring. And I have these little initials and things. So OT stands for on top. That's the edge I'm going to put on top of my scoreboard. And R means to rotate my paper or card. So 3A with the 8 1/4 on top. So this is my piece that I cut just now. 8 1/4 OT. So my 8 1/4 is on top. 8 1/4 OT at 1 1/2. And 7 3/4. And then with a 7 1/4 on top at half, rotate. So I'm going to rotate it around 180 degrees and do half again. So at half, rotate half. So there's that piece done. So I've got 2 score lines there and 2 down the edge. And then 3B with a 5 1/2 on top at 1/2 inch. And with a 7 1/4 on top at half, rotate half. So it sounds complicated, but actually a really easy way of doing it. Okay, so I've got my 2 pieces. My scoring guide and cutting guide can go away. So this is 3A, that bigger piece. Now I've got my 1 1/2 inch on the top. And we've got these 2 1/2 inches down the side. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut those off. So I'm angling towards it and then cutting down. So this is what's going to make that flap. And the other side as well. I'll cut down to the score line and just trim off at an angle. So now we have a little flap, and I'm going to use my corner rounder, which is optional, but just tidies it up, using the larger setting this time. And then when I come to do my papers, I'll use the medium setting. There we go. And now, on both the pieces, where I've made all those 1/2 inch channels, I'm just going to add my strong double-sided tape. I'm not going to bother with the corners in the squares in the corners because I'm going to be cutting them off. So I'm using the Cool Katz sticky paws here again. Nice strong double-sided tape. There we go. And we're just going to miter off those corners now. So we're going to cut towards the X and angle off, just like I showed you in the previous videos. So we angle it just a bit sharper, so it's not straight across, which means when they come together, we get rid of that overlap there. I'm going to do the same on this larger piece. And so now we're just going to burnish them. Fold them back, burnish. Make sure you get a nice hard burnish on these to get it nice and flat. Otherwise, you're going to find your album pops up going to bulge, which doesn't end up giving you a nice finish. So just those 1/2 inch ones will come in. And then this flap, which we've cornered around, is going to come forward. There we go. So we've created a pouch. Okay. And this one is actually going to go on top of this one. So we can do that now. Take off the bottom one and line up the 2 bottom corners. And the sides are straight. There we go. And if you're going to start putting your photos in, you're going to find it catches on that 1/2 inch piece. So just take some washi tape or your black construction tape, because you've got it in this kit. And place it over that joint, and you're creating a little ramp so it avoids that hinge. Take off the 2 sides and fold it up. So now we've got this pouch with a flap that comes down like that, and we've still got bits on the back, so we can bring in our page 3, and if I bring the cutting guide and put it behind you, I should be able to see it a little bit better. There we go. And I'm just placing, so I've taken off the bottom tape again, just like I did with the other pocket, and placing it down, making sure I'm nice and straight on the right hand side. I'm just going to put some black tape to make that ramp again. And there we go. That's excuse me. Now that's our pocket with a flap to close and a pocket there, all done. So now it's time to start decorating. So I'm going to measure, so it's 5 inches. The pocket is 5 inches, so I'm going to go down 1/4 inch to 4 3/4. That will line the pocket. The flap is going to come down, and the flap is 1 1/2. So if I come down 1 1/2, then the top piece should be 4 1/2. And we should, in theory, have a pattern continuing all the way down. I'm just going to round this corner. Well, that's a bit long. Did I not do 1/2? It's meant to be 1 1/4, wasn't it? So let's have a look. Let me just take off just a tiny bit off it. It's actually probably a better way of doing it, because I should get a... Yeah, so it's a little bit short there now, just because I did it at 1 1/2 instead of 1 1/4. So you can see if I'd had done it properly, I would have had that little bit extra there. But I'm not going to worry too much about it. Just make sure you do yours at 1 1/4, not 1 1/2. We're just going to ink these edges. I see, because it's come from the same paper, you've got that continuation going across as well. Could I do an invisible repair with one so tiny? Let's have a go. So an invisible repair is when you use your double-sided tape on the back of your page. Never tried it with one this small before, and you attach it on back in place, and nobody will ever know. There we go. And just trim off that excess double-sided. It's just a little bit longer for me now to attach and glue into place. So there's one. Oh, I've just glued the wrong side. Let me just quickly rub it off. I think that paper looked so nice, I think I just went for that one. Let's have a look. Here we go. And then the last piece onto the bottom. And you see, normally there would be a little bit more black showing there if I'd cut that at the proper size, but I think you get the idea. There we go. And then we just need to line this. Now I'm going to use the scrap I had from one of my other pages. So I've designed it so the flap is just 1/4 inch more than what we get from the waist of our pages. So it's 1 1/4 is my paper, so that's why it's a 1 1/2 inch flap. And this is going on the flap, so I'm going to corner around it with the middle size, and then this is going to be the liner for the pocket. I'm just going to glue these on the inside. So that one is going to go essentially on the flap, and this one is going to go just tuck inside. There we go. A bit too much glue there, splattered. It dries clear, and there we go. So that's then the inside done. So all we need then is some closure. So I've decided this time I'm going to use a swivel closure. So if you haven't seen my swivel closures before, I'll link in the description below to a tutorial on how to make these. They're great for adding to your album once you've done the decorating. So you don't have to think about your closure ahead of time. And it works great for holding flaps and things down. So let's have a look. Let's come to the paper because that's 6 inches, isn't it? So if we come in 1.5, which is there, and 1.5 inches from the other side, they'll be even then. One and a half is there. So I'm going to put it there. And then what will happen, I don't want to do it now because the flap will lift them off, is you can rotate them and they will swivel and close down on there. Okay, so there we go. Even with a little bit of a mistake, you now have a page with a large pocket here, which is highly camouflaged this time, and a smaller pocket here with those swivel closures. So thank you for joining me for page 3. Hope you're enjoying Lancelot. I do like the size of this, and I like how paper efficient it is. So I do hope you're going to join me on the journey. And if you are, please leave me a comment in the description below. It does mean a lot. It does help as well with the YouTube algorithm. And if you do hit that subscribe button, you will find out then when number 4 and 5, because page 4 and 5 we're going to do together, will go live. So thank you for watching. As I said, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, all that usual thing. And if you do want that cutting guide, then remember to join my Facebook group, Paper Crafting with Paul, linked below so you can find that and join in. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.